Hello, everyone. This is BizChicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today we're here with Coach Caren Fern, all the way from Toronto, Canada. She's in the house, and we are so excited. Coach has so many talents and skills. She's kind of low key and humble. So we have to toot her horn for her. And I just want you to know she's run a number of successful businesses. She has been in the fashion industry. She's been in the cleaning industry in terms of domestic and janitorial services. She also has a background in culinary schools. So so she can tell you how to work a business that's around food and other just numerous businesses. So don't you get that pencil out, girl. You know you need to take some notes. We're about to hear from a fountain of wisdom. And so we introduce to some and present to others Coach Caren Fern, your money mindset coach, all the way from Toronto, Canada. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thanks for my intro. Oh my gosh. All this month we're talking about finding your passion. Okay. And I wrote the list because I got about 9 things that I cover, but we are covering 5 of them here for the month. And we cover how to find your passion through creativity, in the health arena, community service, relationships, and today we're talking about relaxation.
Mm.
Sometimes we put that on the back burner. But
Mhm.
when you're setting your goal and you're planning things out, once you're done, you should really go take some time and rest and relax and allow it to settle in and be what it needs to be. And then you go back to it and tweak and do what needs to do. And then you move on from it. And sometimes we're feeling like we have to hurry up so quickly that we can't do these things. But these things are
Mm.
important. So today we're going to talk about, do you do yoga, meditation, or simple resting routines? What do you do on your days off? Are you taking a day off? Because if you don't, your body will give you several more of those. Let me just tell
Yes.
you and warn you. And how are you reducing media consumption? Like, how are you deciding what you're going to watch, what you're going to do? And just like how we schedule a lot of things, we should really be scheduling that too, so that we have time for it, but not over,
Yeah.
indulging it. And speaking myself, I get myself into that mood at times, and I have to remind me also, hey, you can watch, but you can't go crazy just being there because there's still things to get done. And we have to be diligent on ourselves because there's no boss coming to tell you, you watch too much TV, too much Netflix. Maybe a movie's great, but 3 movies in a row, I think you need to get up. But what are you hiding from that you're watching the other 2 movies? Are
Mm.
you watching them for research, or are you just watching these movies because you don't want to get to the thing that feels so hard to get to? It's not really hard, but you deem it hard, so now you can't do it. So
Mm.
all that pressure that we put on ourselves, it's really, really true,
Wow.
unnecessary, but
You
we
know,
do put it.
because I have just become so addicted to my TV.
Mhm.
It's not a good thing. It's not a good
Mm-mm.
look. I'm just saying the truth. I'm too sincere.
Right?
You know what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying. At one time, my dad and a couple of friends of mine used to just come and visit me to have a cockle because I made a dress and I'd made a TV dress. Right? I had this. I made a dress for my TV. Yeah, I mean, usually people make covers. I made a TV dress. Let me
Oh, to
tell
go
you.
over the television.
Yes. So this dress, when it's dressed up, so it's still people used to get a cockle when they come, they can see the dress. I was living in this little basement apartment. And what was happening was I was taking schooling correspondently those days that we had. They posted, you send it back. And I went in person in schooling because I was doubling up on my schooling and I had 3 jobs. And what I was
Mhm.
finding myself when I'm downtime, I would just sit on the TV and watch for hours. And I
Mhm.
decided that I'm going to go on a TV diet Monday to Friday, no TV, only on the weekends. And so my TV would wear this dress Monday to Friday. And only holidays and weekend it gets to take it off. And it worked because I was on my own. I live by myself. There's nobody to tell me not to watch or not to do.
Yes.
I was struggling. I was struggling because it was my second year in Canada. I'd never had TV in my whole life. So
Oh,
this was new for me.
mhm.
um,
Really entertaining.
I went to the movies, but I didn't have a TV in my house. And
Yeah.
I'm like, this is what my mom used to talk about. If I get TV, I'm going to get crazy, which I did. Oh
Hmm.
my God, it was so silly. But, it really helped me. I got to say, it helped me because anytime I want to take it off, it was a slim fitting dress over those big back TV. So I have to go through all the process of loosening all the buttons and all that stuff. Like, I make sure it was a journey so that I can literally pull it up.
Wow.
You got to do what you got to do. Okay, you got to do what you got to do. Let's get back to relaxation. When you are relaxed, when you're hyper intense and nervous, it's hard to really do the great stuff you want to do.
Mm.
This is why great painters or craftsmen or women, you see, they go into this zone when they're painting, sewing, quilting, building something. They're zone out, they're in there. It's a form of relaxation. If you look at the greats, they're never in a hurry. Watch
Mm.
how they work. I talked a couple of times here with a friend of mine. He died now. And Rod was a carver. And I remember the first time I saw him carving. And I said to him, how are you going to make a living? Because I was in the busy running around kind of gal. And I'm like, how are you going to make a living out of this carving? Because he gets these big trees, they're cut down, and now he has to break them down and then carve out it. And I know he was in our university, got kicked out, and political things. And he said to me, Karen, I was not born to go to university, but I've been one of the bright sons. My mom really wanted to go.
Mm-hmm.
And so, for my mom's sake, I went to school. I knew what I was going to do in this life. Like I said, God told me early in life. He said he was about 7 when he started really sketching, and then he said to his mom, I'm going to be a carver. I had to leave school. But, she's got 9 kids, and she's like, my kids are going to university. What are you talking about, baby? So he went to university, and in his 3rd year, he got kicked out because it was for free. Because he was native Guyanese and Black. So he says, Karen, my art teacher, my art professor says, Rod, whatever you want to do, you can do because you came with all the gifts. We're just enhancing it in the study. See,
Isn't that a blessing?
Yeah, this wonderful professor who seek him out and would say to him, you're just gifted. You're just so gifted. I find university is just holding you back from all the things you need to do. Wow. And he said, the professor, he says, I know, my mom wanted me to be here, so that's why I'm here. I'm telling you, our passions are right there, but we're sometimes so afraid to get into it because of different things in life,
And parents are afraid that we won't be able to make a living at our
Yes, that's what they're afraid of. That's what they're afraid of, really and truly. Because once you lean into what God has for you, then he just makes circumstances work out. So the aunt, that's not really the aunt, it was mom's best friend at the time, lived in town because he was from the hinterland. And he said his mom, of course, came down and tell her best friend, she says, Roderick is not in university anymore. But could you let him stay? We'll try to pay whatever we can monthly for him to be here, just until he find a job. And then he get back into university and everything will be okay. And he tells her mama, mama says, Rod, stay as long as you need to stay. And tell your mama keep the rest of the money to look after those other kids. And she would feed him, and he had a bedroom. And he told me 2 years without paying not a penny because he didn't have it. But he would carve every day. Up at 5 o'clock, do his worship, and start carving probably around 5:30 in the morning. Mm-hmm. By the sun on the tree. By the time the sun come up, he would set up his carving, got everything laid out, and he just kept going. By the time I met him, he was doing this for 7 years. Right. Mm-hmm. By the time I met him, he said the first 2 years were hard because Mama keep telling him, Rod, if this is your dream, if this is what God tell you, don't find a job. The job's gonna distract you, son. stay and carve. If you truly think this is your passion, stay and carve. And long story short, Rod was in our museum. All his product was sold worldwide. England, America, Canada, all the big countries had Rod carvings. I'm telling you, he was in so many museums. He won so many awards. And eventually, the home that this lady's living in was a rental. And when it went for sale, he bought it. Sweet. And he put her there. They were half and half owners. He said, if anything happened to me, Mama, half of this house is yours and half is mine. It didn't matter who he dated and who he got engaged to. He said, he let them know straight up. He said, this house belongs to Mama and me. Because by then he lost his mom. And he said, she was his second mom, but she was such a great person to him. Wow. Not only did Rod go on to win all those awards, do all those great things talking about, you know, he'd help all his siblings, help nieces and nephews who needed help. And the one thing he always tells people, he says, if you tell me that you like to boil rice, and that's what you want to do, go boil the rice. I am going to support you to the end. Just don't mess about. Boil the rice. Because he was a very disciplined man, you know, very disciplined. Very disciplined.
You have to be to stick to it.
Yes. When you don't see results, that's the biggest thing he says. He says, you know, Caren, when God gives you a dream and the thing you're supposed to do, what happens is people fight against it. So when they don't see results, they look at something else. When they don't get to where they think they should be, they do something else.
Yes.
For him, he was big on, we got a place called the Seawalls. So he go up there and just walk. And it's very quiet. The water's just beating into the walls. You can, you know, for miles, usually very quiet. You could walk for miles on the wall. Or he would just quiet. He gets up early in the morning anyway. So he has that quiet time to just be on his own. And when 2 o'clock hit, like clockwork, he goes away. He goes away and rests for 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours. Then he come back out and he carve again from 5 until the sun goes down. And he, you know, every neighbor knew him because everybody passes there and sees him and talk to him. Very, very nice guy. And that's a part of you have to understand that relaxation helps you. I strongly believe in his personality, in what he believed in. It didn't matter what people said. He stayed through to what his passion was. Passion is not a hurried up thing that you get to know and get over and move on from. That's the other thing I want people to know. When you're in your passion, it doesn't mean it's a straight road. It's a wiggly, wiggly, wiggly road. All kinds of things are going to come at you. Even though you're working in your passion, it's going to be hard. Even though you're working in your passion, and yes, it's your gift, yes, that's your talent, you're going to get pressure. And the sweetest people next to you will come and take from you because they're going to showcase to you that what you do makes no sense. So the little that you got, you might give it to them. And then, you know, you're it out. And in your head, you might be feeling like, I need a job because I need to do X, Y, and Z. I am not against people who work in. I just want you to hear this. If you're listening to the replay, you mustn't leave your job. That's not what I'm saying to you. What I'm saying to you, if you didn't in the beginning, this is for the younger generation, because you never know who listens to when you speak on something and when. Okay. If you're young and you know in your heart of hearts, when you finish university or college, you're not supposed to do something, not let your circumstances dictate what you do. Take the time and relax. Take the time and pause and take some time to know you. Don't feel hurried up. Matter of fact, unless they have to come to the graduation or whatever, sometimes it's best if they're not close enough to you. You don't even have to tell them. You don't truly have to tell them. Good morning, Jess. You can definitely just be in your own and don't say anything to people. We think we have to tell people everything. So if you finish and you graduate and you're like, you know, I went and I enjoy the classes, but I don't like the field of work I'm working in. Give yourself 2 weeks, a month, and just try to figure out where you truly want to be. And I'm going to tell you, you're going to feel hurried up. You're going to feel panic. If you owe money, you're going to figure out how I'm going to pay the bills, right? If you're at your mom and dad, you're wanting to really show them how great you are because they help you even if it's not financially, to get there.
Mm-hmm.
It's parents you can have this conversation with. And I say, I'm a parent, so I'm going to say some parents you can't have certain conversation with. They're just not good at it because they they didn't have the experience or they didn't had the person to talk to. If they're not good at it, don't speak to them about it. If they're good at it, then have the conversation with them. Not because it's your parents that you have to have it with them. Sometimes those are the people that can't help you at the moment because their influence is so strong that they might say, well, girl, just or boy, just go, just get a job so you can pay off the bills and then you can figure what you want to do later.
Yeah, that's
And from
pretty
a parent,
typical.
yeah, and that's typical of a parent. I
Mm-hmm.
had to grow into be the parent I am today because schooling is something I love. I have my own school happening, so I love schooling. And so it took me years to understand that schooling is not for everybody. Or once you finish schooling, it's okay not to be in the job, even if it's paying you oodles of money.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're not satisfied, if you feel like you're wasting your days, if you're sitting there and in the job and it's paying all the bills, but you are empty inside, you have to question
Mm-hmm.
why. Because you're going to mentally stress yourself out without recognizing you are. So look out, look after that mental part of you. We build mental toughness by going through this period where it feels so difficult. You know, there's people who don't take days off, and this is part of what I'm talking about, who have to be on the go all the time without taking that time. And when the body shut down, not ever in a good way, because it's overworked,
Uh-huh.
all sorts of things that you've been oppressing start happening. So if you were going to take 2 weeks off of work and rest, next thing you need is 3 weeks or you need a month. You
Mm.
need 8 weeks because the body is needing to recuperate. You know, God says 6 days work, 1 day off. Take that day off.
Mm-hmm.
Rest on that day. Again, I had to grow into the woman to understand when you rest on that day, that's not a day to cook and clean and get everything together. No, it's actually a
Okay,
rest
rest. Yes.
day. Rest.
Yes. And your Sabbath my Sabbath is I think from 9 o'clock Monday morning till 9 o'clock Tuesday evening, something like that. Yeah.
Mhm.
It doesn't have to be, on a traditional day, is my
Exactly.
point.
Exactly. You know,
Mhm.
one of the big resters I had observed when, and I was a teenager, and a friend of mine aunt was a 7 Day Adventist, and that's the first time I understood real rest. She
Mhm.
only had one daughter. She was a principal. She only had one daughter who also was a teacher, and she was a principal. But her sister came to the States. We were in Guyana at the time, and her sister had 7 children, and she said yes to the sister. The sister wasn't there. She said yes to the sister to get to the States to be a doctor. And she said yes to minding these 7 kids. And she only had one. And so she
Uh-huh.
wasn't used to all these kids around.
Mhm.
But she's a very disciplined lady. And my friend invited me that weekend, and I remember taking my sister. So my sister and I went. So now 7, 9 of us, and then some other kids came along. Anyway, she lived in this grand home. And I remember getting there around 5 in the afternoon, the Friday afternoon. She says, Caren, we go into Sabbath as soon as the sun goes down, and we don't do anything. Food is ready, so you'll eat dinner. Please do not wash the dishes, everything. And she had a separate kitchen where everything can pile high. She had 2 double sinks. It was really organized, and the food would pile. So you got food for Friday, you got food for Saturday. And she truly takes the time off. She gets to church Sunday morning. We go to Sunday school. She do what she got to do. She help in the kitchen there, but she's not washing dishes. She's just organizing, just talking to people. People coming for her, I realize now, for counseling and just talk about God and what has happened during the week. That was her mission. And then she gets home,
Mhm.
and on Saturday, once she gets before the sun goes down, you still don't do nothing. You just get in there and you do this you relax in these
Okay.
sofas. It didn't matter if
Rest.
you're nothing. You not to do anything, and you relax. You do nothing. When the sun goes down, the guys is the one who clean up the house. The girls don't get to do anything. She said they work all week helping. The sons has to wash the dishes, clean the floors, and do everything.
What a
And the women
blessing.
get to relax. I was like, what?
That's a blessing.
Really was a blessing. And then
Hmm.
she started a real turn on Sunday. She says, Karen, real relaxation is not doing. Real relaxation is actually that. You sit in the sofa and you just rest, right? You just relax. Just give it all to God. Just let it flow. Just let it flow. I was not used to that. So boy, did it take me some time to just sit there and do nothing. Like I was itching to wash the dishes, help sweep
Hmm.
the floor. She's like, no. And so I know I was going to get there.
Learning to rest.
She said, this is
Learn.
what the boys do. This is what the boys do.
Mm.
See, let them get there. Let them get to it.
Wow.
Don't look, just let them get to it. And those guys get in there like clockwork and get it done. So if you got husbands, let them have a time when they go in. Don't direct, don't detect. Just let them get in there and do it. Let them get in there and do it. But within,
That is such a blessing. I can't even imagine.
girl, I asked my friend, I said, is this for me because I show up? She goes, no, girl, we girls don't do anything.
Nice.
She said, we don't do anything. She said, my aunt said that the guys are in training for when they get their wives so that they
Mm.
understand women don't do everything.
Mm.
Her husband had died. So that's what I realized after. She said he was the kind of husband who take care of her on the weekend, and she did the Monday to Friday. The weekend was his turn. So she's teaching her nephews to be very good husbands.
For
That was her.
real.
Yeah.
You've
She
been
was
married a long time. How nice.
you know and why is that? When you relax, you start seeing life differently. I
Yes.
promise you, life looks different when you relax.
And you can solve some of the most horrendous problems
Right, Terry?
because you slowed down and
Right?
you can hear. You know what I mean?
Yes.
When we're just busy doing, you can miss it sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. You can't hear what is right in front of you and what's to do next. I say to people, I say, it's amazing when you understand that if you ask, you know what exactly to do next. You might be shocked and surprised that you actually know what to do next because
Mhm.
you've been fighting it for so long that you don't realize that you just got the answer of what to
Yes.
do next. You know, I've seen it in the movies, but I myself have practiced it. I remember I was fussing for money one time, and God wanted me to go do something that seemed so silly for me and
Uh-huh.
seemed so crazy to me that it made no sense. So I'm going to tell you what it was. I was wanting to do my patio furniture that was really getting really terrible. And I wanted to paint it, but I keep saying I don't have time to paint it because if I paint it, I have this to do and I have that to do and I have that to do. And I had two people calling sick and I had to fill for the new week cleaning techs. And I didn't know where I was going to get anybody from. And I was fighting on this whole idea. And I'm like, there's no way I myself can cover all these shifts. I said, okay, I'm going to close my computer. I'm not going to reach out to anybody. I'm going to get these chairs done. And I, Terry, spend Friday and Saturday painting, sanding. I put on some music and I just relax on it because God has been
Mhm.
putting it in my head to get these chairs done. And I thought, what was the big deal? It's just chairs. Let me tell you, by the time I come back inside, a friend of mine called me. We get to talking, and she said, but I'm looking for something to do. She said, and I'm going to send you a girl. And let me tell you, the girl she sent me, that girl worked for me for 15 years. Okay. Ain't God great?
Amazing.
Ain't God great? I come back in. The two people come and sign up. By the Tuesday, two more people came and sign up. It's not about the chairs. It's about listening and doing.
And also being relaxed enough to interview the people, to not present yourself as though you're in a panic. Because you've had a chance to relax your mind. Is
Yes,
that
yes, yes, yes. It was never about the cheers. It just was to get me away from the process that I was going over and over in my head. He's like, go paint the chairs. Get on your sewing machine and make the covers you wanted for the pillows, the throw pillows. Like,
Mhm.
this is your happy spot. Why aren't you in there? My husband came in. He's like, "Kind, we could just buy new chairs. Like, why are you painting the old chairs? Weren't we going to get rid of the chairs?" And I said, "Yes, but I need to paint the chairs." And he's like, "For what?" Anyway, he went away and he left me because I knew that I needed to paint the chairs. I needed to keep the chairs because it was to get me into that, as you were saying, relaxing mood, that place where I could just be. And he knows when I'm creative, how I'm able to just see things clearer. And so I need that space. That's why I always got some kind of DIY doing. Like the bigger stuff we'll pay for. Come do the gutters, the roof. I'm not doing those things. But the things that gets me excited, if I can throw a cover for, the pillows, paint the chairs, do the patio, something that is more decorative and
beautification. Yeah.
Yeah. After the guys came and do that.
Crafty. Yes.
Yeah. But it really gets you going. And so that's why I talk about meditation for the people who needs it or who never experience it. Go do it. For resting, really lying on your bed. And I know this is hard. I'm not going to sit here and pretend. When you first start to clear your mind, it is one of the most difficult things you'll ever do. And so I tell people, rather than trying to say, I want to clear my mind, go back to some sweet childhood memory that you have. And I know people said to me, Caren, what if I don't have a good childhood memory? I said, I had some really difficult ones, but there's somewhere in between, there's some good ones. That's the one I want you to focus on. I want you to remember yourself laughing uncontrollably of something very stupid, like making mud balls or something if you did, or jumping hopscotch and your cousin or your sister or somebody pushed you out of the way, or something that made you fell down, you were silly. Because when you start opening those portholes, you're not strenuous on what's happening today. You're taking that memory back. If it is starting to, and I will say this, if it's starting to tip over into the bad patches, I want you to stop yourself right away, get yourself a drink of water, and don't invite it in. If it starts tipping in, do not continue the thought process, because that happens when you're in your joyous mood. A sad memory might appear. I like the movie Inside Out for that, because they really did a good job of that movie showing you how when you get sad, how you sink, and more sad thoughts come and you sink. But when you're happy and bubbly, you could really propel the happiness to keep coming and coming. So your job, because you're now learning, happy is going to be there, but sad is going to attach itself. Happy is going to be there and sad is going to attach itself. You have to refuse it in every single way you can. Drink a glass of water, run, walk, creep, move, do whatever you can to don't allow it to attach itself. Because remember, we want to get to this calming place. So when you were kidding, you finish running and you feeling you laughing, you came and you plop yourself on the stairs, you throw yourself down. You're not thinking about anything big and fancy. You're just resting. The mind starts to rest. We were born and had childhoods because God knows we're going to need them later. I always say, your past, no matter how hard it is, there's spots in there that was good. If you think deep and hard enough, there's good. There might be a lot of bad, but they're good. And some people had a lot of good and there's a little bit of bad. Everybody's got different things. But just go to that spot that's going to help you relax yourself. And this might take you 7 days, 14 days, 3 weeks. But it's something to constantly do. And do it when you don't feel like doing it. Do it when it's hard. If it's only 5 minutes you can do the 5 minutes. Do not try for 15. Just 5 minutes. Put the timer on and be in that 5 minutes calm, resting, goodness. That's it. You don't need more than 5. When you can get to 10, okay. 15, great. But if you can only start at 5, start at 5. Start at 5 and don't let anybody disturb that 5 minutes. Stay there, rest yourself, and learn eventually. Because some people resting, it's going to start off with cooking. Some people resting, it's going to mean they're going to clean a room. But eventually, they're going to learn that they could literally rest with doing nothing. Because I used to claim I'm resting when I'm cleaning. No, I'm cleaning. I used to claim I'm resting when I'm purging. No, I'm purging. When I am resting, I am doing nothing physically, but I'm doing mentally. So I had to learn how to rest physically first. And then I learned how to rest mentally because that's the next layer. I
Mm.
am aware it's a next layer. You can lie there and think about all the things you could have get done. You're not rested. Okay.
No, you're laying there, you're worrying. That's what you're doing.
Exactly. Exactly. The girl on TikTok said, take your worry, energy, and put it into something that makes way more sense for you. And how do you find your passion in all of this? Because when you're resting, the things that you truly want to do come and highlight themselves in front of you. They dance like a little ballerina, they slide down. You can imagine yourself doing like anything when you're in your rest mood. Anything. I
Mm.
know it's gonna feel impossible as soon as you get out of it, but you can do it.
Wow. Thank you so much, Coach. I'm finding out these different pieces to pursuing my passion. The whole, community service. Would never thought of that as being part of the pursuit of my passion. And I, the things, the relationships,
Yeah.
being a part of our passion. I, I've learned so much on this journey
Thank
since you've
you.
been talking about how it relates to passion in our business. Wow. Wow. So today, just the whole idea of relaxation contributing to our
Mhm.
ability to do business better. It
Yes.
makes sense now to me.
Thank you. Thank you.
I
Thank
don't know
you.
what to say, but
Thank you.
but I want people to know that if you're looking for Coach Caren, you can find her at Profits in Daily on Facebook and Instagram. Uh, sh- Coach, have you decided when your course is going to launch?
It's either going to be 15th or the 20 something of August. So,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
You guys going to get a link soon so that we have the early bird prices starting because um, it's a it's a program with a coaching segment involved in there. So
Okay.
I'll talk about it as soon as I got my full sales page.
This is good.
Yes, yes, yes,
That's good timing for me.
yes, yes.
Okay. All right, guys, you can find Coach Caren at Profits in Daily on her Facebook page or Instagram. And remember that she's here every Wednesday with nuggets of wisdom about how to do business in your personal finances and your business finances.
Mm-hmm.
Our money mindset coach. Change your mind, change your money. So
Girl.
So, with that, we just want to remind everyone that if you're looking to become a part of the Biz Chicks community, you can simply text Biz to 33777, or you can get a hold of us at bizchicks.net and come on and be a part of our community. That will take you into the heartbeat, and in the heartbeat, you can set up your profile, and we'd love to share with you some of the trainings that we have once a week. With that, we want to remind you to go to the front of your own
Your
mind
own
because it's
mind.
okay to
Yes,
be successful in your business.
it is.
So we'll see you tomorrow. We'll be talking happy, healthy habits with Robin Shamizu and friends, and we hope that you'll join us for that. Until tomorrow, have a great day and thank you for sharing. Bye bye, everyone.